Welcome to a new season of Borough Talks, the Borough Market podcast. I'm Giulia Crouch, and this spring I'm back at London's most iconic food market to chat with the traders who make this place so special.
It's a brilliant place to be. It's one of the best markets in the world.
We'll explore their journeys, uncover the best seasonal produce, and pick up plenty of expert foodie tips along the way.
And you can actually mix the sauce yourself. You could make stir-fry soya noodle. That same sauce, you can make a pao. You could make stir-fry vegetable. It's so easy.
As the market comes to life with fresh produce and new flavours, we're celebrating the people who make it all happen. So join me for another season of delicious conversations with those who know food best. This is Borough Talks. I'm very pleased to be joined by Nick Fitzgerald from Padre, an amazing taqueria in the market. So tell me about Tacos Padre. What's the vibe? What's on the menu?
So Tacos Padre, I started about 6 years ago. I have been all around Mexico many times, working, eating, drinking, and was really disappointed that Mexican food wasn't really represented very well in London. So I just decided to learn as much as I could and then basically start it myself. The offering that we have is like from basically all around Mexico. So we've got, carne asada, which is from the north, carnitas, which is from Michoacan, 4 hours south of Mexico City, pastor, which is, from Puebla. So we've got a lot of different things. A lot of the core tacos are represented on the menu, so people can kind of understand what tacos are about. Aside from that, we've got like a couple of sides, and then we've got about 6 or 7 margaritas on the menu at any time.
6 or 7?
Well, yeah. It's just kind of there's a lot of different ones you can try. So a couple of frozen ones, and then we've got seasonal ones. So sometimes we have like rhubarb or.
Oh, that sounds delicious.
Yeah, forced champagne rhubarb is spectacular.
That sounds
in a
great.
margarita. Yeah.
I've
Neon
never
pink.
had that.
Yeah, that's what it's all about. It's about trying to point in the direction of how brilliant Mexico is and try and channel some of that, delicious kind of food this way. That's what it's about.
So is Mexican food really quite regional then? Because I'm not sure people think of it like that.
It is incredibly regional. I think people have this misconception when it comes to from Mexico in general. They don't really understand it or its size. It is the size of Europe. It's 115 million people. Third largest city in the world, 27 million people through their census, which is also a bit wobbly. There's a lot of people who don't live, within the grid. There's a really incredible writer called Diana Kennedy who wrote 9 books, and one of them is on regional cuisine. If you're by the coast, it's obviously more focused towards fish and grilling of fish. There's a Japanese trade route in Ensenada, which is the biggest port in the Pacific. Again, on the opposite side, Veracruz is the largest port in South America, so massive fish focus there. And then in the center of Mexico, you've got Mexico City, which is really famous for a culmination of all the different regional cuisines, of street food in particular. And Oaxaca has UNESCO heritage protection, which is one of the few in the world for a cuisine.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
That's crazy. What does that mean?
It means it's like a layer of protection.
Wow.
So they get some kind of like funding to keep it alive, to
Keep the tradition going.
Yeah, but just make people aware of it.
That's super cool.
Document it, all that kind of thing.
So when did you first go to Mexico, and why did you go there?
I was trying to figure out what I was going to do, and I kind of wanted to get involved in Mexican food. And I was at a big restaurant awards after party in a restaurant I used to work in, the Clove Club. There was a really famous chef there. There was many famous chefs there. One of them was Enrique Vera, who runs Puyol in Mexico City, which is #1 restaurant or top 3 in Mexico. And I just said to my friend, hold my beer, and I went over and I started talking to him. And then within a very short time of me getting him a gin and tonic, I had made agreement to go over and work in his restaurant. And I was there 3 months later, and that was about 10 years ago now.
And how much did you know about like proper Mexican cooking before you went out there?
Very little. I had a great uncle who, I'm half Spanish, so he had to leave Spain because, when he was 18, the economy was so awful that Mexico was a real option, which is a kind of a crazy thing to think about.
Yeah.
But at that time, that was very real. So he left and he started a life over there, selling ice cream in the summer and Christmas lights in the winter, and slowly built up a life over there. And that was my only real connection Like, he gave me a silver Mexican dollar when I was like 10, which in my mind was very large, but in reality was probably a lot smaller.
Do you think this inspired you in quite a big way?
I think it was probably a subliminal thing.
Yeah.
The word Mexico was mentioned to me.
And did you always want to be a chef in the first place?
Yeah, I think so, yeah. I remember I was cooking when I was doing chocolate mousse for my parents' dinner parties when I was 6.
No way.
But I think that was 8. I was cooking definitely when I was 8. It was my dad's 50th when I was 8, so we were cooking for that.
Who taught you to cook?
My mum. My mum is from the north of Spain, from Asturias. Food is fundamental in Asturias. It's known as the home of cooking in Spain. You know, it's again quite competitive regionally, same as Italy, same as France. Everyone's trying to say their region is the best, but it is known as the home of cooking in Spain.
So then how old were you when you eventually went out to Mexico?
It would have been 10 years ago. Yeah.
And describe to me that kind of initial experience, like when you got there and when you started cooking in these amazing Mexican kitchens.
It's a strong start. I walked from San Diego into Tijuana, and it is very jarring, the difference by walking a few meters.
Oh really? In what way?
Well, I mean, San Diego is, white middle class, very affluent, naval, seaside, coastal town. And you walk to the border, you get through, and you are in a different world. It's a different planet. So then from there, once I crossed, we took a bus down into Ensenada, and we got a bit lost, which everyone else was very worried about, and I had to pretend like I wasn't. And we were going to go meet a very loose connection, which is someone went to work in a friend's restaurant, essentially, and that was in Norway. So a Mexican guy went to work in Norway, and that's who we were going to go meet in Mexico.
Okay.
So never met him before. Took a while to get there. It was a bit shaky, but we eventually got there, and we were received incredibly well, and they asked us, do we want tacos and a beer? And we obviously said yes, and yeah, it was an incredible entry into Mexico.
What was in the tacos?
It was this special taco which is called chicharrón in salsa verde, which is a different version of chicharrón to what we're used to kind of here. What we have here is kind of crackling, and this is like a kind of a long process of cooking pork skin in pork fat with a little bit of the pork fat still left on. It's scored, then you dehydrate it, and then you fry it in the pork fat, extremely hot, and it just souffles really, really massively, kind of 8 times, 10 times the size. Incredibly delicious just like that. And then what they do is cut it into pieces and they cook it in salsa verde. So salsa verde in Mexico is, the most basic recipe is tomatillo, jalapeno, coriander, onion and garlic, boiled and then blended, a little bit of salt. So cooked in that, and then that's what you have in a taco. So completely different texture, very wobbly, so it can be a bit like difficult to acclimatize to, but very delicious, and yeah, just served with a beer. So it could have been like
that's
the
a great
best
start.
best entry possible. A bit lost, everybody really concerned, then tacos and beers, beautiful.
What are some of your other food memories?
I mean, still to this day, I can remember one of the things that we ate there. One other thing to say just about Ensenada, that it is a Japanese trade route, so there is an influence, a little bit of an influence of Japan on there. So you can go to a local bar, you can have just a random local bar, not a fancy one, not like, there's a special chef or anything like that. And you will be able to get fried oysters on the menu, but then the sauce that will be in will be soy sauce. So the first time I saw this, I was, fascinated. I was like, I couldn't believe it. So that was really amazing. There's a lot of aquaculture there. So there's tuna nurseries that the Japanese will then take to Japan to grow to be larger. So there's a big culture of that there. Why fishing and aquaculture is really important is because of, that's what Ensenada is like all about, is Baja style fish tacos. Is like, this is one of the main places. That's where, Baja California starts. Then you go down further, and that's Baja California Sur. Baja California, where Ensenada is, there's an absolutely incredible ceviche tostada, like little stand, which has been there for decades, run by Maria Sabina, which is this lovely little woman. And yeah, it was just brilliant. And I've been back there since, and it's just the same. Because you think sometimes when you go somewhere, the flavor of it was because it was the first time you were there or something like that. But no.
Yeah, or because you were on holiday or you were excited.
Exactly. And it was as shocking as the first time. You get like sea urchin, chocolate clams, which are, larger than the size of your palm. all done fresh there. Their production kitchen, like little kitchen that they have, is 200 meters away. The market is 200 meters away from that. The sea is 200 meters away from that. And it's just incredible food. Like some of the best food I've ever eaten.
That sounds amazing.
Yeah.
How long were you out there for?
That time I think it was about 6 weeks. 2 weeks of that I was working in Puyol in Mexico City.
What was that experience like working there?
Hardcore.
Was it?
Yeah, it was hardcore. Kind of like 6 days a week, 14 hours a day. But yeah, it was brilliant. I mean, I still talk to multiple chefs who I worked with there. I've worked with some of them since. One of them taught me how to make mole, coming in at like 6 a.m., then staying till like midnight. And it's just like this massive, incredible process.
How long does it take?
8 hours.
Oh, 8 hours.
Yeah. It doesn't really matter how much you're making. It's kind of the same. There's a lot of different processes to, let's say, vegetables, for example. Tomato, onion and garlic need to be all charred first, and then you're going to sweat them down. Nuts are going to roast at different temperatures and take different amounts of time. Raisins, again, going to be roasted. Fruit's going to be roasted. And you need the oven space in order to have the vapor to evaporate.
Okay.
So you can't just load
it's
up.
so technical, isn't it?
Super technical. And then there's specific level that you're going to char or burn chilies. And then there's a specific way that you're going to process all of that, putting through the chilies first so that you create a chili powder. Then you're going to put through the vegetables to clean the mill, to clean the machine. Because you're putting it through a volcanic stone mill, not through a blender. And then that will clean the machine. And then you have to evacuate the whole building when you're putting the chilies through.
Because they're so
Because
potent.
it will just be a cloud of poison going through the restaurant. Yeah, I mean, we've cleared many hotels and restaurants doing it.
Sounds dangerous.
It is. It's completely toxic. Chilies are toxic. So yes, it's really dangerous.
Oh my gosh.
And then after that, you need to blend it, pass it, and then you're going to cook it because it's not fully cooked yet.
Yeah.
So then you have to cook it for depends how much you're doing, but it can be like 2 hours, 3 hours in a pan with a bit of lard. And you're just this is one of 7 moles, but this is the one that we were doing there.
Okay.
There was two main ones. So that would be like 2 or 3 hours in a pan of one human moving it for 2 or 3 hours.
That's intense.
It was a long day and it was very brilliant.
Do you ever make it here?
Yeah, we've made it before. We've run a little restaurant here before, and we had it on there, and we've done it as a kind of vegetarian version as well. But to be honest with you, inside of a really quick environment that is Borough Market, there's not the time to kind of explain to people. There's a lot of people speak many different languages here. We've got people coming from all over, so you really need to kind of have it on in an environment where you can explain it. You can go through it. Because it is a really complex thing, so it's hard for people to understand if they've never heard about it before.
Yeah. Going back to Mexico, how did you learn from those experiences and bring that back to London?
I'm a kind of a classically trained chef, so I've grown up in in a French brigade style system.
Okay.
So that was enormously helpful in trying to break down and organize in my mind what is Mexican food, because you're kind of completely overwhelmed. If you start reading, you're just trying to get used to the chilies. That's the first thing, is trying to identify which chilies are which and how you use them, all the different ways that you can use them. So that was really helpful, in me trying to understand Mexican food, which took years. It takes a very long time.
You kind of analysed it in almost like an academic way.
Yeah.
What is this?
Yeah,
you studied it.
Absolutely. And it's how do you transport other cuisines around the world? How do the Japanese do it in particular? Well, I mean, they've got a lot of dried ingredients that they transport, and then there are some fresh items that are involved. So that's really important when you are trying to do cuisine in a different country, or you're trying to open a business. How do you do that? Now, some of those things were already here, but yeah, it's trying to wrap your head around it, really.
And look, you've brought me some breakfast, which I'm pleased about. It's just arrived.
Yeah.
Tell me what we've got.
So we've got 1 and 1 each of the tacos. So that one there is carnitas. So it's pork that's been salted for a day, and then it is cooked in pork fat.
Great. I like to hear that.
Not great for the diet, but it's very delicious.
Yeah.
And then crisped up on the plancha, chopped, and then we introduce what we call pork jelly, which is a kind of a pork stock developed from roasting bones, and then also that appears underneath the fat of the carnitas when we're making them. Then on top is habanero pickled white onions, a little bit of coriander on the side. And then this is actually the most complex taco that we make. This is a potato taco, which is kind of funny. So basically we have two dishes on the menu. One is a choripapa, which is a classic Mexican taco, which is chorizo and potato papa. And then I wanted to make a vegan version. So this is baby new potatoes, steamed, broken, fried, and then dusted in a chorizo flavored rub, essentially a spice rub. Then mixed with like a garlic adobo. Adobo means like thick marinade, essentially. Onion, fried, garlic confit, morita chili, which is smoked, orange juice, lime juice is around it, then salsa verde. Over here is a guacamole that we make 8 or 10 times a day. So
You must get through a lot of avos.
yeah, we get through a lot. It's a lot more in the summer. When it's cold, we do less. The main thing is that we make it fresh all the time, because I really don't like this whole scenario of having this like baby puree with no texture. So we use cherry tomatoes, which have got more flavor than like a concassed tomato. And it's just like, it's quite chunky. So there's texture of avocado when you're eating it rather than not. And then to make it more exciting again, because I find guacamole can be a bit boring, is salsa macha on top. So salsa macha is one of the most interesting and delicious salsas in the Mexican salsa or sauce repertoire that there is. It is essentially Mexican crispy chili oil. The most basic recipe is arbol chilies, some garlic, and some salt. Then there can be sesame seeds, there can be pumpkin seeds, there can be peanuts. I've had one before with macadamia nuts, which was incredible from Veracruz.
Nice.
I mean, yeah, the most expensive nut in the world. Yeah, delicious.
It's going to be good, yeah.
Yeah. I got in trouble for that with the accountant when we were making that last time.
I bet, yeah.
Really, really special and delicious, and we make it. We make absolutely everything.
So much goes into all of this.
Yes, there's 32 ingredients in that potato taco.
And it's funny, isn't it? Because tacos are like this small thing, but so much goes into them.
Yeah.
What, like, in your opinion, makes for a good taco? Is there a formula?
There is indeed. There are 3 things. I really don't like saying the filling, but it is the filling, the salsa, and most importantly is the tortilla. The tortilla is the most important.
Can make a massive difference.
Corn is to the Mexicans as rice is to the Japanese.
Yeah.
So it's extremely important that that is, done properly.
Oh, this pork one is amazing. There's so much going on. This is actually such a good idea for breakfast. This is perfect breakfast. Do people eat tacos for breakfast ever?
Yeah, there's a few tacos that are for breakfast, which are lamb barbacoa, cochinita pibil. The lamb barbacoa, completely different in taste, but cooked in the same way. And they're cooked in a pib. A pib is a vertical oven that is dig a hole, light a fire, throw in some stones, cover it with branches, cover it with coffee sacks, cover it with earth, leave it there for 6 to 8 hours, take it out, break it all apart, and that's it. So lamb barbacoa is done that way, and then cochinita pibil is done the same, except that has a marinade on it that includes achiote paste, which has achiote berries in it. So a lot more of a spice mix to it.
I just need to say, this pork taco is sensational. It's so good. There's just like such a balance of flavors, the zinginess, the fattiness. It's just fantastic. I love it. I'm going to try the potato one. This one really appeals to me. I just like carb on carb, so
Yeah.
really good.
Every time I go to Padre, I have this.
Do you? Is it one of your faves?
It's delicious.
It works really well. I don't think I've had potatoes in a taco before. I think tacos are so amazing as well because there's so many things in one mouthful, so many flavors going on.
Lots of texture.
How important is texture in a taco?
Yeah, incredibly important. That's what I was saying to you about the guacamole as well. Is that you just have a lot of texture. You're not dealing with super refined purees of everything.
Yeah.
It's like you're actually dealing with texture of what you're eating, whether it's meat or it's protein or it's vegetable. It's like big, bold chunks. It's not refined as a dining experience or that. It's like it's much more developed and hasn't been made into this other weird version of refined food, over
100%.
processed.
Yeah. Speaking of which, I'm going to try the guac because it looks incredible.
I'm gonna try as well.
Really good. Really nice to have the kind of chili oil on the top. Just adds more of a contrast, doesn't it?
Makes it more exciting.
I don't know if we finished the thought on the kind of formula for a taco. So you're saying the corn is really important,
So the three things, very simple. The triangle, which is one is the salsa, another is the filling, and a tortilla. And the tortilla is, one of the most important components. If it's not made properly, it will fall apart. It is a very fragile food product, a taco. You're dealing with the salsa, which is, wet, essentially. The filling is also hot and wet and got fat in there as well. So the way that it's, a tortilla is made, it's going to start disintegrating the tortilla as soon as it touches it. So you really got the timer is on from the point at which it is made and it is handed to you for you to eat it.
Yeah.
Now,
It's almost like a pizza.
yeah, kind of. I would say it's even more fragile than that.
Yeah.
That's why a lot of the time in Mexico, when you eat tacos, someone serves it directly to you. So it's like literally in your hand. It's not through a restaurant or whatever. It's like that's usually
Direct.
the way. Yeah.
Why do you think people love tacos so much? Why are they such a big hit?
I think it's incredibly vibrant type of food. It's super diverse on what you can have. It's an easy sell. It's like, it's like a trigger word. If someone says tacos and margaritas, they're like, you'll see the eyes perk up and the ears, and it's a really easy food to be able to share. It's like, oh, can I try one? You try mine. It's like, you can order as many or as few as you want. It's like high impact food. Very convivial. It's kind of something that can be shared across generations as well, not just in Mexico, but is now very normal in America and will begin to happen in Europe. Is like, there will be families of multi-generations who are able to go out for tacos because everyone understands what that means now and are able to enjoy it. And it's the same as pizza, It's like you can have a multi-generational family enjoying pizza happily,
And do you think Mexican food has improved in London?
It is improving all the time. There are places that are opening up which are better. We've got better access to ingredients. Number one issue is there's not enough Mexicans. That's the issue with a lot of cuisines. Is the country is not like fully represented, and that's why all the other cuisines here are doing very well. Whether that's Spanish, there's Japanese, Chinese. Obviously, Indian is number one. And that's fundamentally why it's not as on the same level as other cuisines. But yeah, it's improving all the time. New restaurants, new bars, new suppliers. One of the major suppliers is about to start the process of nixtamalization, which is cooking corn in an alkaline solution, made alkaline with calcium.
Is this to make the tortillas?
This is to make the tortillas.
You wouldn't think it was such a process, would you?
Yeah, I mean, it's a very complicated word, but a relatively simple process. It's just adding calcium to corn. In order to refine it, you just need to kind of like test it until you know how to cook it properly. The main thing is the volcanic stone mill. It doesn't exist here, obviously. There's no volcanoes. So you need to import that. The guys that we get tortillas from have all of that equipment ready to go. So that's going to have a fundamental impact on all of the tortillas that you see, because they supply 90% of the tortillas in the UK.
Ah, so how are they making their tortillas at the moment?
They make it from nixtamalized corn flour. So corn that is nixtamalized, it is then milled, and then it is dried, and then it is milled again. So you end up with the flour. So that is how a lot of the rest of the world will be able to make tortillas, including how you make tortillas at home, and how a lot of people in Mexico make tortillas at home. Is that you just have this flour, you add water to it, and then you can make tortillas whenever you want. So it's, again, that method of how do you transport a cuisine around the world. It's these type of ambient processes that make it possible.
Have you seen the process being done in a traditional way?
Yeah, many times I've done it. Yeah, I've done it many times, yeah.
So cool. Is there a big difference in taste?
It is night and day. The difference is buying sourdough in a economy supermarket and in your favorite bakery.
Oh, I see.
So it is
massive.
completely different. The structure is different, flavor is different, everything about it. Fundamentally, it's the same. It looks the same. You can, toast it, and you will get a similar food product. But in terms of flavor and its structure, when it's a soft corn tortilla, just on that, could you just please say to everyone listening, please stop calling things hard shell and soft shell. That was something invented by Chipotle. Please stop doing that. That's a service announcement.
What should they be called?
Just soft corn tortillas, or a tostada if it is crunchy or crispy. It's tortilla chip if it's the little triangular one. But this whole thing about soft shell and hard shell drives me and everyone else who is cooking Mexican food demented because it was just invented by Chipotle. So
Are there any other faux pas when it comes to Mexican food?
Sure. I mean, there is things, but I think the main thing is that just people are attempting to follow semi-traditional recipes. That's the main thing. I don't think it's worthwhile to get like bogged down by like what not to do. It's more like to get involved and to just start cooking something, because it's an amazing thing to explore, and it is quite complex. So it's more about just getting started and getting something going rather than that, really, you know.
So how rigidly do you stick to like the authentic traditional recipes, or do you like to have a bit of a play?
Everything that we do is different, but will essentially seem relatively traditional. There's Szechuan pepper, there's Korean chili flakes, lots of ingredients which are not in Mexico, but they are just there as a smaller part of a mostly traditional recipe.
What's it been like being in Borough Market? It's obviously such a special, iconic place. What's that been like for you, having a taqueria here?
It's a brilliant place to be. Some of the traders, you know, what they're selling or they're producing and selling is really incredible. There's even new traders coming online who are really, trying to push the boat out on what they're doing. You know, I came to this market when I first moved to London about, I think it was like 14, 15 years ago. I was fascinated then, and I'm still happy to come to it now every time I'm coming here. I'm not phased in any which way about the crowds that are here. It's just like, for me, it's normal. And yeah, I think it's brilliant. I think it's one of the best markets in the world. I've been to many, many markets, and I really love it. I think it's brilliant.
Why did you want to be here in the first place?
Because this is the number one market in the UK. Very simply.
Yeah.
There are many other markets, but what's happening with any central London market is it transformed from a wholesale market into a retail market, and then it was in a prime location. So then essentially they've been bought out by, you know, large developers, and then have crushed out any sort of small produce or, you know, hot food traders. That is what has happened in general London. You can see that with Covent Garden Market. There's kind of like a more modern operation that's happening in Spitalfields, but they don't really have any produce anymore. So this is one of the, the last in London, which is a semi-covered market where you can go and you can shop for high quality produce and have a bit of hot food. And there's, I don't know how many restaurants we have now, but I think this is the number one F&B location in London as well. The amount of cuisines that are represented here and high quality operators. I mean, it's pretty crazy, and it's still growing. It's still like they're not done. So it's a really exciting place to be.
And in terms of your business, you've got a new taqueria opening up.
Yes.
And would you ever open somewhere that did like other Mexican dishes?
It's going to have 3 different menus in that place, so that kind of answers your question. We're going to do some breakfast in the morning. We are going to do a taqueria daytime, so that's like 12 to 5. And then we are going to run a restaurant in the evening. So there'll still be tacos on the menu, but we will have also, some desserts. We'll have ceviche tostadas, not in the order. Yeah, there's just be more space and time to expand what we do. We did that a little bit here in Borough Market when we ran the al fresco restaurant. It's a restaurant environment, so you have more time to like talk to customers, and you just have plates, which we don't have normally. So that's like a plated dish, and that's a whole like little style that you're going to have. It's more elaborate. Like what we do during the day is really developed, but it's just more elaborate.
Yeah, different style.
Yeah.
Well, that sounds really exciting.
Yeah.
Yeah, sounds great. Thank you so much for coming on the podcast.
Thank you very much.
It's been so nice to speak to you, and your food is incredible, so thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thanks for listening to this episode of Borough Talks. Make sure you follow the podcast so you don't miss an episode, and we can't wait to see you next time. Cheers, guys. Borough Talks was hosted by me, Giulia Crouch, produced and edited by James Deacon, editing and sound design by Chris Attaway, and a special thanks to Nina and Bethan at Borough Market, the team at Bedow's Wine Bar for hosting us, and everyone who spoke to us and fed us.
Thank you so much, yeah?